Okay, so this is not the outcome that we were really hoping for with our turkey project. And I wish I had better news, and I wish I could come on this video and tell you that all of the 24 eggs that were shipped to us ended up being turkey poults. But that's not the case. But I'm not disappointed. So I just want everyone to know watching this that I am incredibly thrilled and I'm so happy that we did this project. How exciting to be able to do this from start to finish. And so I thought it's Wednesday night that I would do an update for you because we've had so many emails and questions asking for an update. We took some time yesterday to do a few errands for everything we need to do for like caring for the animals. We went to pick up feed for everyone and, kind of sorted everything and got everything back to the property. So that took us quite a while yesterday. So we didn't get a chance to give you an update yesterday. So before I tell you kind of the outcome of the overall project, I first want to say that all of the support everyone has given us has been absolutely amazing. And it's so fun to hear and get so many messages of people asking for an update on how our turkey poults that did hatch are doing. And so that is just like warms our heart that so many people were invested in this project. And so thank you for that for sure. Like we just are just so thrilled with the fact that we have so many people cheering us on no matter what we're doing. So as you know, we had 24 turkey eggs shipped to us. They are bourbon reds and they come from another homesteading farm here in Nova Scotia. And they're about 3.5, maybe 4 hours away from us. We made the decision to ship the turkey eggs because I can't get bourbon red purebreds basically anywhere else. And that was the type that we really wanted to get. She sent us and gathered the eggs from her turkeys, and the shipping company absolutely dropped the ball, installed the shipping and left them in the warehouse. It was a whole thing trying to rush and get these here so that animals would survive. And unfortunately, they didn't arrive on time. They were incredibly late, which I knew ultimately would affect the final outcome of the project, which was so disappointing being that this was our first time that we would be trying this project. But that's okay. We still had really high hopes. And we thought if we could just, ooze all our love into these eggs, that maybe, fingers crossed, we would have as many as we possibly could get. We also had the support of Antigonish Country Co-op, who were so kind to send us the incubator and the egg turner for the project. And it's been really fun to be able to just show them how we've been using the incubator and show our YouTube family kind of the incubating egg process, which is really fun and exciting for us as a family. It was something to look forward to. And after 28 days, we now have the final result. So you saw that we had a couple early hatchers on day 26, and we had one turkey pip that actually never came out of its shell. And we did end up opening the shell off camera. I spared you the details on opening the egg. And there was basically an almost fully formed turkey in the shell, but it was not alive. So something happened when it was pipping. Our humidities and temp were perfect the entire time. And so we just think that it just wasn't meant to be. 2 other turkeys did come out, and I'm gonna give you an update on them today. And by night 30 into morning of day 31, we decided that we were going to kind of give up hope on the eggs that were still in the incubator because we had 0 progress. We didn't have any wibble wobbles. We didn't have any egg movement at all. And I decided that I was going to open the incubator and we were going to candle the eggs and see if we could see anything. We had kind of a little bit of like a shock when we candled them and we realized that it didn't look like there was anything moving in any of the eggs. So I knew I had made the right decision by opening the incubator. That was kind of like disappointing that we knew we weren't gonna have likely anything out of these. And so I decided to open all of the eggs and see what happened. We had basically all of the rest of the eggs that were in the incubator were nothing but yolk. When I cracked them open, it was just like if you were going to crack a chicken egg in your kitchen to bake with. Lots of yolk inside. The yolk was very yellowy and you could tell that nothing had even started to try to form. And one of the eggs actually did have a poult inside of it that wasn't alive. I don't know because of how it was curled up if it was even a full poult or not. I probably wouldn't even know until it actually would have like hatched out. So I'm gonna say that poult probably got to the same progress as the first one that pipped that never came out. So that was disappointing. And obviously sad because you want to have as many survive as possible. That shipping was just against us right from the beginning. But we do have the 2 that we did decide to take out. And now I'm really glad that we didn't hold off and wait and try to take them out, a couple days later because I knew they needed to get on food and water. And I was an incredibly proud turkey mama that within only a half an hour of having them in their little brooder setup, which I did kind of alter, I'll show you in this video. And I had them drinking water and eating within the first half an hour of having them in my little makeshift brooder. So I was very proud of my turkey babies. And since they don't have a turkey mama here, I proudly am taking on that role. So I want to show them to you, and I want to show you a few other things, kind of like what we're doing and how I got them to eat. They are so incredibly adorable. Okay, look at my baby turkeys. I'm so excited about them. So I have the turkey poults actually in the corner in our bathroom here. And the reason I have that is because this room is actually really warm, and we have not only an electric heater that's on the wall in here, but we also have a heater that we can plug in here to keep this room with no drafts whatsoever, because we didn't want to get the turkeys a chill. You can see that I have a different light fixture kind of hanging here than I did on the first day video you saw. We were moving them into the brooder. This is actually the one that I started with, which I had a heat coil in, and I didn't find that it was heating up warm enough, and I just wasn't confident that they weren't going to be chilly. And since I had never used that before, I really wasn't sure. I did have a red light here from when we had chicks and ducks last year, and I decided to switch the bulb out and be able to use the red light. It definitely was so much warmer right away, and I knew that I had made the right decision. And then it was just playing with it with my hand to make sure that I wasn't going to overheat the turkeys, but still keep them warm enough. And because this is a big brooder for just 2 little tiny turkeys, I decided to use this little clear shoe box bin and kind of separate them into this little spot, give them wood chips, water, and the turkey starter feed that we're feeding them. They kind of just walked around. They kind of tried to peck at it a little bit. And so what I did was I actually wet a little bit of it. You can see some remnants over here. I left it so I could show you. And I kind of fermented a little bit of the feed and put in dry stuff as well. And that seemed to do the trick. And within only about a half an hour, I could see that they were pecking at it and they were really enjoying the feed, eating little tiny bits at a time. I'm gonna move this light so you can see their colors better. Without the red light, you can see them a lot better. Just the light kind of changes and makes them look kind of glowy and funny. So I noticed that I was able to dip their beaks a little bit and show them where the water was. And that was fine, but I worried if I went to bed that night that they were going to be really warm under the heat and that they would get dehydrated quickly. So I decided to take some advice from some of our YouTube family members and put some stones, which I sanitized and washed and put in to the bottom of their water dish. And I did that for a couple of reasons. One was the newer turkey was falling asleep standing up in the little tray, and so I was worried that he was going to drown if he laid down to fall asleep. If you've never seen turkeys lay down and sleep, they literally lay face down and they almost look like they're not alive, so I was worried that that would happen. So I put some rocks in. You can see they keep kicking their food or the wood chips into the water there because I had just changed it, minutes ago, and they do that. And within just a few minutes of adding the rocks, I saw the larger turkey in here drink right away, and then shortly after, the newer one also followed. And so they're doing so well, and they're eating and drinking completely on their own now. They're like, why do you have a camera? Hi guys. So at this point, we have no idea if we have 2 girls or 2 boys or a boy and a girl, and I don't think we're gonna know for quite a long time. So we're really excited to be able to give them a name, but because we don't know what they are, I think we're gonna hold off for a little bit, or we might just give them names and then hope that maybe we're right and we can kind of guess. So what I've learned is if you pick up the turkeys by the shoulder, if they pull their legs up towards their bellies, kind of like this, then that probably means they're a boy. And if they stretch their legs out really, really straight out, they're probably a girl. And so I did do that last night, and I repeatedly kept picking them up a few times to see if I would get the same result each time. So I'm gonna show you kind of like how I was trying to do that, but I don't know that that's a for sure way of knowing. You can also tell sometimes by, females usually have a more rounded head from the back, and the boys apparently a more square head. I don't know. I'm really undecided on what I think I have here, but I'll wait a little bit till they're a few days older and then I'll kind of take a look. But definitely one of them I think has a little bit more of a square head than the other, but again, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, little guys, or girls, hi. They're not afraid of me. They like when I mess with them a little bit. Ready? All right, so we have the legs curled up. And I'm being really gentle, picking them up by the shoulders. So according to what I researched, that tells me that that's a boy, but I don't know yet. And then let's see you. What are you gonna do? And you also curled your legs up. So from the test that tells me online, it says I have 2 boys, but again, not confident yet. So we're gonna play it out for a little while, and we love them regardless of what they are. You might see in this video that my face is getting redder and redder as the video goes on, and that is because it is incredibly warm in the bathroom. We've been keeping that heat light on for them, as well as the heater in here, to make sure we have no drafts. And so when we come in here to hang out with them, you start to get a little red in the face and warm, but they have thought that this temperature was perfect, and they're happy and eating and drinking. And so that's what matters for right now. Okay, so where do we go from here? We were obviously hoping to have more turkeys so that we could keep some for breeders for our own eggs for next year, meaning keep a male and a couple of females probably, and then the rest would go in the freezer and harvest them. And yes, we are prepared for that part of the process if that was what the plan was. But since we only hatched out 2 of our own, these will definitely stay on our homestead. So that leaves me with 2 turkeys, none for the freezer. And unless I have, by chance, a boy and a girl, I also don't have eggs coming for next year to raise these up for the year. So that didn't exactly go as planned for the project, but I'm so happy with the 2 little pups we have, and I'm a proud mama of all of their little milestones so far. But we do want to have more bourbon red turkeys than just the 2. And so we are going to go for a road trip on Friday to another family's homestead and pick up, I think, only 4 little turkey poults who are about 5 to 6 weeks old. They're actually giving us a few out of the ones that they were going to keep for themselves because we didn't really get very many of our own, which is so kind of them. I'm hoping maybe we could get 6, but I'm not going to, press it. I'm really thrilled that we're going to be able to get 4 at least. So we're going to go for a little road trip all together across Nova Scotia and pick up a few more turkey poults. And then we'll have to wait and see. So that will hopefully for sure guarantee that we'll at least have eggs for next year. If by chance over the next couple of weeks or even a couple months, I can figure out finding a few more, maybe at even another homestead, then we will likely do that as well. But right now that's all I've been able to source out. And so we want to make sure that we can pick those up and kind of get our heritage breeding process kind of going here. We do have the opportunity to get some that would be bourbon red mixes with other, so they would call them a cross with something. But we are really set on just wanting to have the purebred heritage breed of the bourbon red. So I think for now, we're gonna stick with that and then see kind of where we go from there. We also have another really exciting addition that's coming to our homestead, I believe this weekend, if all goes well. So that's something to look forward to as well. So we're really excited to have a few feathery friends that'll be joining us that are a little bit bigger than this. So I think that will be fun to show you how big they are compared to ours at 5 to 6 weeks old. And I will continue to give you updates just in little clippets of our renovation videos coming up. So I thought this will be our final update on how our whole process went. And then I'll continue to show you kind of a little bit sneak peeks of them kind of over the next several weeks, because we have lots of renovation projects coming inside and outside. And so we want to kind of be able to show you kind of just quick with the animals, see how everyone's doing, and show you all of our renovation process. So stay tuned for that. But thank you for all of your inquiries about how these little turkey poults are doing. We're so excited. It's hard to get anything accomplished with these cuties in the house, and we can't wait to start being able to give them a little bit of outside time when they're ready, but we're pretty far from that yet. So stay tuned for some more footage of these guys. If you have any name ideas, then leave them in the comments down below. Again, we don't know what they are, so maybe we'll stick with some generic names for now.